Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Listen, we got so much stuff to talk about, man. Y'all, we got so much stuff to talk about. What's up, everybody? I'm going to give people like a couple of minutes. Give me some ones in the chat. If you can hear me, hit that like button on your way in if you don't mind. Bet. We have so much stuff to talk about. So much stuff to talk about. So listen, I'm not going to be paying attention to the comment section as much as I have before because I have to focus. I'll take some questions and stuff at the end, but we have so much stuff to talk about. If you happen to catch this live, yeah, I got a haircut. I have a haircut. Yeah. I'm going to put my locks on I'm going to reattach them in about 4 or 5 months. But listen, I can't be distracted. This will be the best live I've ever done. I've only done 3 of them, but this will be easily the best live. If you are catching this live, then you are in for a treat. This is normally the stuff we talk about on Patreon, but the video that you see on the screen that I'm going to play here in a second is going to spook you and is going to blow your mind because he's going to talk about all the things that we've been talking about on Patreon, but he's done it in a way where YouTube can't censor him. It's one of the most brilliant ways. The things that he draws out, he explains what's happening in this world. And he did this. This video is from like a week and a half ago, and it perfectly explains some of the stuff that we're about to talk about with Charlie Kirk. So once again, this will be the best live I've ever done before. I'm so excited. So hit that like button on your way in once again. Let's try to get this video spread out there in the algorithm for as many people as possible. So if you all have not heard the news about Charlie Kirk, and I'm talking about the bombshell report that everybody's been talking about, then you are in for a treat because there is a report from Gray Zone that has officially spilled the beans about what was going on with Charlie Kirk, and it's all the stuff that we've already been talking about, right? I want to, because I'm already seeing some negative comments about Charlie Kirk, and let me just read you all a comment real fast. I know I'm supposed to ignore this type of stuff, but I want y'all to understand I'm still learning what comes with popularity and a lot of followers. I know you're going to get a lot of people. I'm going to read you all a message somebody sent me, and then we're going to transition into the live. Somebody said, this is on Instagram. Somebody DM me this on Instagram, and I will not be reading any more hateful comments on my YouTube channel, so don't think you're special. This will be a one-time thing, but I want to give you all an understanding of just how people just hold you to certain expectations just because of your skin color. Bro, please tell me why the HELL you was crying for a pig that cares nothing about your people. Bro, hit my line. Then he sends me his number, but he sends way too many numbers for it to be a valid telephone number, okay? I respect your show, bro, but you getting too comfortable, and it's people like you they take advantage of, and I don't like it. We got to stop being so weak towards them. You know about Tulsa, and you know about Black Wall Street. It's clear that they design everything the way that they got it right now. If you starve Black people out, they will do anything. Look at the guy that made plastic out of oil, if I'm not mistaken, or was it gasoline? But look how he's getting harassed. They don't want us to be great. When I saw you cry, I never felt so embarrassed in my life. And I mean that respectfully. Crying over a white man is the most embarrassing SHIT I ever seen. Dang, bro. Okay. Listen, racism exists. Systemic racism is real. I don't think it exists the way people say it does. Again, on this channel, I care about high-level racism. I think anybody in this country has the means to succeed, even with low-level racism. It's the high-level racism that I care about. He said some valid stuff about the history of this country, but this is what I'm talking about. Like stuff like that. You don't even know me, bro. Don't look at me and say that I'm super melanated and just assume that I'm supposed to hate people because they're white. I'm not doing it. Yes, I believe Charlie Kirk has said some things that is racist or rooted in racism, but I also believe that Charlie Kirk said a lot of things about the black community that is absolutely true, and it just hurt your feelings, right? Two things can be true at the same time. Let me acknowledge these. Okay, new members. Shout out to Lanice. Shout out to Anthony Wilson. Shout out to Alex Tech. Shout out to Only One Queen Mecca. Shout out to Loving Eve. Shout out to Tracy Meredith. My guy Caesar, keep up the work, Didi. God bless you. Absolutely, man. I appreciate the super chat. As always, y'all, what's happening right now with Charlie Kirk is mind-blowing. Let me pull this up. Where is it at? Where is it at? Okay, boom, boom. Where you at? Hopefully y'all can see this. Let me see. Let me look for my phone to see if y'all will be able to see. I want to make sure that y'all can see this. That's a bar. Somebody in my chat said we cannot give up the commandments for the amendments. That is a bar. Amen. I might tweet that. All right, so listen. Check this out. Charlie Kirk refused Netanyahu funding offer, was quote-unquote frightened by pro-Israel forces before death, friend reveals. This came out yesterday. A Trump insider and longtime friend of Charlie Kirk tells the Gray Zone. Hold on, let me make sure that y'all can see this. Bet. How the assassinated conservative leader's turning point on Israeli influence provoked a private backlash from Netanyahu's allies that left him angry and afraid. The source said anxiety spread within the Trump administration after an apparent Israeli spying operation was uncovered. Charlie Kirk rejected an offer earlier this year from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to arrange a massive new infusion of Zionist money into his Turning Point USA organization, America's largest conservative youth association, according to a longtime friend of the slain commentator, speaking on the condition of anonymity. The source told the Gray Zone that the late pro-Trump influencer believed Netanyahu was trying to cow him into silence as he began to publicly question Israel's overwhelming influence in Washington and demanded more space to criticize it. In the weeks leading up to his September 10 assassination, the day before 9/11, people, Kirk had come to loathe the Israeli leader, regarding him as a quote-unquote bully, the source said. Kirk was disgusted by what he witnessed inside the Trump administration, where Netanyahu sought to personally dictate the president's personnel decisions and weaponize Israeli assets like billionaire donor Miriam Adelson to keep the White House firmly under his thumb. According to Kirk's friend, who also enjoyed the access to President Donald Trump and his inner circle, Kirk strongly warned Trump last June against bombing Iran on Israel's behalf. Charlie was the only person who did that, they said, recalling how Trump barked at him in response and angrily shut down the conversation. The source believes the incident confirmed in Kirk's mind that the president of the United States had fallen under the control of a malign foreign power. I've been telling y'all that for almost 7 months, and was leading his own country into a series of disastrous conflicts. By the following month, Kirk had become the target of a sustained private campaign of intimidation and free-floating fury by wealthy and powerful allies of Netanyahu, figures he described in an interview as Jewish leaders and stakeholders. He was afraid of them, the source emphasized. Kirk was 18 years old when he launched Turning Point USA in 2012. From its inception, his career was propelled by Zionist donors. I've been saying that, but we'll get to that here in a sec. Who showered his young organization with money through neoconservative outfits like David Horowitz Freedom Center. He repaid his wealthy backers over the years by unleashing a relentless fire hose of anti-Palestinian and Islamophobic diatribes. Absolutely, he was. That's part of the reason why I said he had become racist, because of some of his tweets. Charlie Kirk started to tweet things that weren't just critical of the Muslim community. I don't mind criticism. I don't mind you being a critique. You can call me a bootlicker or whatever. I'm criticizing the heck out of my community. I'm holding us accountable. What Charlie Kirk began to do over the past few months, it was clear. I'm like, what is this dude doing? He's just attacking. He made a tweet where he said that the Muslim community was taking over the country. And he said, we have to take our nation back because they're poisoning our country. He tweeted this. That's a fact. Like, what are you doing here, bro? It was silly. I was like, he's being paid to do this. Accepting propaganda trips to Israel and sternly shutting down nationalist forces challenging his support for Israel during Turning Point USA events. In the Trump era, few American Gentiles had proved more valuable to the self-proclaimed Jewish state than Charlie Kirk. But as Israel's genocidal assault on the besieged Gaza Strip drove an unprecedented backlash within grassroots right-wing circles, where only 24% of younger Republicans now sympathize with Israel over the Palestinians. And that's by design. We've talked about that, but we'll get to that. Kirk began to shift. At times, he told the Israeli line, spreading disinformation about babies beheaded by Hamas on October 7th, and denying the famine imposed on the population of Gaza. Yet he simultaneously ceded to his base, wondering aloud if Jeffrey Epstein was an Israeli intelligence asset, questioning whether the Israeli government allowed the October 17 attacks to proceed in order to advance long-term political goals, and parroting narratives familiar to his most vociferous critic on the right, streamer Nick Fuentes. He began to sound like Nick Fuentes. This July, at the Turning Point USA Student Action Summit, Kirk provided a forum for the right-wing grassroots to vent its fury about Israel's political hammerlock on the Trump administration, which is obvious. There, speakers from former Fox News stalwarts Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly to an anti-Zionist Jewish comedian, Dave Smith. I love Dave Smith. Denounced Israel's blood-soaked assault on the besieged Gaza Strip, branded Jeffrey Epstein as an Israeli intelligence asset, and openly taunted Zionist billionaires like Bill Ackman from quote-unquote getting away with scams despite having no actual skills.
They're getting rewarded for it. The unfairness of it drives you crazy. And it's particularly galling in the case of Jeffrey Epstein and the whole constellation of people around Jeffrey Epstein, all of whom seem to be getting away with scams. And how do you know they're getting away with scams? I'll tell you how, because they're useless and they're rich. So how do you come to a place where some of the least impressive, most useless people who have no actual skills become billionaires?
How?
How's that legitimate?
How?
And by the way, if you ask this question, at least in Washington, it's like, oh, well, yeah, it sounds like you're a socialist. Sounds like socialism. Yeah, okay, I'm a socialist now. All right. I was a Qatari agent or a bigot. Now I'm a socialist. All right. Leaving aside my committed socialism, can you answer the question? How did Bill Ackman get $9 billion? Bill Ackman, a pretty impressive guy? I know Bill Ackman. No.
Right.
Bill Ackman's like well-connected and super aggressive. That's it. And I think, well-connected, super aggressive people deserve a fair living like everybody else. But if you're accruing $9 million just because you're willing to do anything, I don't know why we have to pretend that's good.
Right. Right. So I was going to take too much time to read the rest of that, but I'm going to go ahead and just tell y'all basically what the rest of that says. So essentially, after Charlie Kirk hosted Tucker Carlson, he got a lot of backlash by his funders and his stakeholders who were telling him to stop platforming Tucker Carlson because he was anti-Israel, and he said that he wasn't going to do that. Right? So, man, it's so much stuff to talk about, y'all. This is easily going to be my best live. This video is a high chance this video will get flagged, but I don't care. We got to talk about this. Now I'm about to show you all something, a video of a gentleman, and I'm going to give him credit, and I'm going to link his video in the description after the fact. But this YouTube channel is called Professor Zhang Clips, and I'm going to link him below. Listen to what he had to say. And of course, I'm going to chime in. I'm going to give you all my thoughts. Watch this. Get some ones in the chat if you want. If y'all want to see this video, I want to see some ones in the chat. It's about to blow your mind. Give me some ones in the chat. Hit that like button on your way in once again. Give me some ones in the chat. I'm about to blow y'all mind. I'm about to blow your mind with this. I've been telling y'all what's happening in this world, bro. It's terrifying, but it's a spiritual fight, and we gotta know how to fight this. And we can't fight it if we have no idea what's happening. I had a person said, one of my Charlie Kirk videos, he said, what is it with this Israeli stuff? Like, I've never heard about it, bro. I'm not saying you're wrong. I've never heard about it. He's like, and people keep mentioning 9/11. I'm like, look, bro, like, you're not gonna get my channel. These things are not conspiracy theories. You have to have the gift of discernment. Watch this. Watch how brilliant he put this together. Shout out to Professor Zhang. This was beautiful. Y'all ready? Watch this. Listen good. And I'm going to pause it to tell y'all how it chimes into everything we've been talking about on Patreon. If you're a Patreon member, if you've been binging my videos on Patreon, which are much better than my videos on YouTube, it's going to blow your mind. Watch this.
Discuss some extremely controversial topics. And because this is going to go on YouTube, there are certain words I cannot say. So just to warn you, I will write down these words, but I will not say them, because if I do say them, then I will get censored on YouTube. Today, we're going to look at how evil triumphs. Why is the world so evil? And there's going to be a lot of extremely disturbing topics we're going to discuss. But you're mature, and it's important that we discuss these topics in order to understand how the world works.
Amen.
So let's just start. And we will do a lot of speculation and theorizing in this class. So do not take this as gospel. Do not believe this is the truth. The entire point of this class is to help you develop the theories and the ideas to better understand the world. These are tools. Okay, this is not truth. These are tools. All right. So the first question I have for you is, what is happening in Israel? Right now, as you know, Israel is besieging, bombarding Gaza. You might have seen the videos on social media. It is disturbing. It is terrible what is happening. The word that is happening, the word that we use for what is happening in Gaza is this word. You are not allowed to say this word on YouTube, but that is the intention. Mm-hmm. What I will argue, though, is that the truth is far more disturbing than this. Mm-hmm. What is really happening in Gaza is a ritual.
Say that. Say that.
Sacrifice.
Say that.
And this happens quite often in human history. If you go back and you look at the real history of humanity, this happens quite often. Some of the most famous examples are the Aztecs. We've dug up temples of the Aztecs, and inside the temples are thousands and thousands of human skulls. So before they went to war, they practiced human sacrifice. They would commit mass murder of their enemies in public. So the Aztecs were really famous for this. The Phoenicians, specifically the Carthaginians, we will discuss them later this semester, but the Phoenicians were also famous for a particular type of sacrifice, which is child sacrifice.
Now I'm going to pause this real quick. Now I'm seeing some people in the chat saying that they know who this is. A couple of people know who this is, and I seen one person say that he's off. This is the only video I've ever seen of his, but he is spot on in this video. What he's about to say is going to blow your mind. But I want to pause it real fast to say something to y'all, just so y'all understand something. Appreciate the super chat. Good job, mate. Keep it up. Exposing the people may be free. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the super chat. So just so we all on the same page, I'm explaining to y'all, he is spot on. If y'all have been following the channel enough, understand something. Please understand something. The Kamala Harris video that I made, this was like 9 months ago. It was a lot of months ago. And I explained to you all what Kamala Harris was doing. You got to understand something with these people. First and foremost, they aren't against each other. All these people are together. A lot of you all are not going to accept that. I understand y'all think Trump is really against the system. I understand. I get it. Because I had one guy on my other video said, oh, I get it now. You just hate Trump. Bro, it's bigger than that. As a follower of Jesus Christ, there are several things that Trump has, a lot of his executive orders, I support. I support what he did. But these people are not who you think they are, bro. It's bigger than that. You're talking about low-level politics. I'm not thinking about politics. I'm talking about the spiritual fight. Listen to what I'm telling you, bro. Please listen to me. Kamala Harris, if you put a gun in my head and force me to pick between cackling Kamala Harris and loose-mouth Trump, I'm picking Trump because Trump, the way that they present and packaged him was more attractive to Christians, right? Kamala Harris is demonic. She was openly demonic, but she played her position well, just like Trump played his position well. But I'm digressing. There's a video I made about Kamala Harris where I said it's bigger than what y'all think. This woman was hosting abortion trucks outside of her rallies. What are you doing? What are you promoting? What is this like? It's like trying to sell your merchandise outside of your concerts. Why do you have abortion trucks outside of your rallies? This is a fact. Because it's not just about abortions. She got asked in an interview, do you support abortion up until birth? This woman wouldn't even answer the question. Huh? Wouldn't even answer the question. Because it's about human sacrifice. That's what abortion is about. It's another way of sacrificing human beings, except you're doing it in the womb. But I digress. This is going to be important. Listen to what he's about to say about Israel.
The Romans wrote histories insulting the Phoenicians for practicing this sort of sacrifice. But the Romans themselves practiced human sacrifice. What they would do is that after every major war, they would capture all the major leaders, all their enemies, and they would parade their enemies through the streets of Rome. This is something called a triumph. At the end of the triumph, they would gather enemies at the temple of Jupiter. Jupiter is their god. And then they would strangle to death their enemies. That's sacrifice. That's human sacrifice. They didn't call it that, okay? And they sort of disguised it, but we know for a fact that they did do this. So the question for us is, why is it that this happens? Why do the Aztecs do it? Why do the Phoenicians do it? Why do the Romans do it? And why is it today the Israelis do it in Gaza? And remember, okay, what the Israelis are doing is quite horrific because it is really this sort of sacrifice. Why? Because 47%, almost half of the population of Gaza is under 18 years old.
Yep.
So the majority of people who are getting killed are in fact children. What is most striking or blatant about what's happening in Gaza is that we can all see it for ourselves.
Bingo.
And it's almost as though the Israelis want us to see it and want us to hate them.
Bingo.
Right? You can see all over the world, popular opinion is turning against Israel. You have these popular protests all around the world protesting what is happening in Palestine. If they really want to do this, right, there are actually much more effective ways of doing this. For example, you could just poison their water. Or you could poison the air so that everyone in Gaza gets a fast cancer, right? We have the technology to do this. So Israel could do it this secretly and no one would talk about it. And in 20 years' time, 30 years' time, the population of Gaza would all be gone. It would be a very secret, right? Instead, they choose to do this in front of the world. And my argument to you is that this is intentional. They want the world to hate them.
Bingo.
Because by doing this,
Bingo.
they create the ultimate taboo. Right? We find this disgusting and contemptuous, so the entire world will unite against Israel. But guess what? That's what their religion wants. In the extreme form of Jewish eschatology or the religion, they believe that at the end of the world, Israel will fight the entire world and God will help Israel triumph in the end. So what's really happening in Gaza is that there are extremists within the Israel government who want to accelerate the process of the end of the world, where Israel will face the world. And if you think about it, the entire idea of this ritual sacrifice is to unite the Israeli population. And what's extremely disturbing and horrifying about it is that this works. Why? Well, let's use an analogy, okay? The analogy is this.
Pay attention,
in
guys.
history, the most popular military stratagem is to fight with a river behind your back. You guys have heard of this strategy, right? Where, okay, an army is losing, okay? It's being scattered by the enemy. So what the general does is forces the army to retreat to a river. And now with the river blocking your escape, you have a choice. You can either drown in the river or you can fight to the death. And most soldiers will choose to fight to the death. And so at this point, the soldiers are unified, they're galvanized, they're energized, and then they find a surge of energy to go and destroy their enemy. Okay, this is the most popular military stratagem in ancient Chinese history, and guess what? It's the same as Israel doing this right now in Gaza. It's the same logic. Yes, you have a question?
Bingo. Well, I mean, the point is, I mean, it's a little bit left, but we don't even have to play the rest of it. He's spot on. This is one of the most beautifully put videos, and the way he put it was perfect. And it ties to what the whole Charlie Kirk thing. It ties to the whole. I gotta stop looking at this chat. It ties perfectly with what was going on with Charlie Kirk behind the scenes, allegedly. Everything I say in this video is alleged. Listen to me. I told you all. He said that everything that's happening right now is intentional. He said because there's a different way to retaliate against Gaza. You all control the flow of food that's going and leaving. You know, water. Just poison the water, right? Poison the food. But they weren't doing that. They're publicly doing this to these people for the whole world to see. Just like we talked about with the Albert Pike letters. The same letters that not everybody, but some people said Freemasons. The same people that we talk against on this channel. Freemasons have come out and said that Albert Pike, yes, he was a Freemason, but those letters are fake. The letters are fake, yet they're prophesizing. They're coming to fruition. The very thing that's in those letters, what did he say about World War III? What did he say? He said that the world has to turn against Israel. That's what he said. There's going to be a war against the Palestinian people and against the Zionists. The world is going to eventually turn against the Zionists. If this letter is so fake and it's been out for all these years, why is it happening? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. I told you all everything that Trump was doing was intentional and he wasn't going to stop, but I'm going to prove it. I put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to show y'all that I said this months ago. Where is it at? I got a video called Trump the Dark Musician. Listen to what I said at the beginning of this video. So if you're one of those people that has found themselves to be confused, upset, angry, trying to make sense of the behavior from President Trump as it pertains to the Epstein files, the client list, or maybe you're somebody who expected this from Trump all along. Whatever category you fall into, all I ask from you is to just watch this video to the end, because I think I'm going to do a halfway decent job of not only driving home the point that not only that Donald Trump is controlled, but everything that Donald Trump is doing right now, that includes purposefully upsetting his base upsetting Democrats, upsetting people who fall in the middle as independents, such as myself, upsetting everybody as it pertains to the Epstein files. All of it is on purpose, and he's not going to stop doing it. He's going to only continue to do it. Bingo. That was a month ago. July 17th to be exact. July 17th to be exact. Everything that man was doing is on purpose. Listen to what was said in that article about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk witnessed the way that Trump was behaving with Bibi Netanyahu, and it was almost like he was the president of the country. There's somewhere in that article where it said that Trump is terrified of Bibi Netanyahu, and I want to find it. Hold on one sec. I want to freaking find it. I like to prove what I'm saying. I want to find it. Let's see. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. Yes. All right. All right. I'm going to show y'all what I'm looking at. So check this out. What does it say right here? According to Kirk's longtime friend, Kirk's resentment of Netanyahu and the Israel lobby was spreading within Trump's inner circle. In fact, they said the president himself was terrified of Netanyahu's wrath and feared the consequences of defying him. During the past year, the Trump insider was told by contacts in the White House that the Secret Service had caught Israeli government personnel placing electronic devices on its emergency response vehicles on 2 separate occasions. This is in the gray zone, everybody. Everybody's been talking about it. But this is all the stuff we was already speculating, because this is what I said before. Something weird was happening with Charlie Kirk. If you just watch him, I'm like, bro, there's no defending what's happening in the Middle East. Clearly what they've done is overkill, bro. But Charlie Kirk was ignoring all his contemporaries and his foes, his friends, his peers. He was ignoring everybody. Everybody that he claims to be friends with and care about, he mostly aligns with them on politics for the most part. This was the one thing that they not only felt differently about, but drastically differently about. I'm like, what? Charlie, like, you only say positive things. You're critical of every other community. I'm like, they're funding this dude. There has to be pro-Israel organizations that's funding him. I have videos on y'all, listen, hold me accountable on my channel. Hold me accountable. Don't look at me as some hero. Don't look at me as some saint. Hold me accountable. If I lie about anything that I've said, if I lie about anything in the video, correct me. And I'm humble enough to say, hey, okay, I was wrong about that. I didn't say that. I've been saying for almost a year, or all of this year, something's going on with Charlie Kirk. I believe that Charlie Kirk is being funded by these organizations. Finally, but what irritates me about these articles, y'all, is that it comes out after this man has passed away. Why y'all weren't sharing this and dropping these leaks while he was alive? Sure, to be fair, a couple of the tweets came out like a month ago about Charlie Kirk fearing that they will unalive him. But, like, for the most part, all the stuff that just came out in this bombshell article, why is it just not coming out now? Why now? Y'all should have already been trying to protect this dude and put this information out there. I don't care how you feel about Charlie Kirk personally, politically. I don't care. He's a human being. He's an American. What happened to that man in front of his family is dude, it's absolutely unacceptable. But I got something to show y'all. Did y'all know that? Hold on. Let me pull this up. If y'all think I was lying or I'm a conspiracy theorist, I know my followers don't. But I'm going to show y'all something real quick. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. What the world? Of course. Watch this. I told you all to pay attention to the bills. Pay attention to the bills that they're going to try to bring out with in the midst of all of this. And what has happened since? They've overwhelmingly passed a bill to continue to fund the Ukrainian war. And they also passed they rejected the a motion in Congress to release the Epstein files. One of those bills happened the same day that the Charlie Kirk incident happened. It flew under the radar, and the other incident, or the bill, I believe, was the very next day. Well, I got something else that's going to blow y'all mind. Let me pull this up. Check this out. Check out this. Shout out to Sabby Sabs. I love her channel. Congress is pushing legislation to punish those who boycott Israel. What? The House will vote Monday on H.R. 867, the IGO Anti-Boycott Act, sponsored by Representative Mike Lawler. Fines up to $1 million. $1 million. Do y'all see this? $1 million. Prison sentences up to 20 years for Americans participating in boycotts of Israel or its settlements if these boycotts are endorsed by international bodies like the UN or Europe. What? What? Do y'all see this? Man, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy, bro. And we're talking about Monday like in 3 days, or 2 days Monday. That Monday. What is going on here? Well, we know what's going on here. We know what's going on here. And I want to show y'all something else too. Because as y'all know, Candace Owens was pretty close with Charlie Kirk. Let's take a look at some of the things that she has been saying about what happened. Let's see here. Check this out. Discord has come out to tell us that the feds are lying about Charlie Kirk's death. The press conference that I showed you all yesterday, where the governor of Utah, I believe his last name is Cox, he came out and said that he was shown messages on Discord where this guy, who I believe is a patsy, I believe this is a fall guy, but we can delve into that another time, maybe even on Patreon. This guy was apparently sending messages, and he was talking about, having to go back to pick his weapon up. The same weapon that they said he jumped off the building with, but we didn't see him with it. The same weapon that they said he disassembled within 2 seconds. Even though an expert who flew on Air Force One with Donald Trump has come out on video and said it's impossible to break that weapon down that fast. It's very difficult. But they're not only saying he broke it down, he did it in record timing. The same weapon that they said he got to the woods, reassembled the same rifle, put it in a box, wrapped it in a dark towel, and left it like breadcrumbs for them to find. Well, Discord has come out and said that that's actually not true. Don't take Candace's word for it. Don't take my word for it. Let's click on this and see what it says. Discord says platform not used in suspect's murder plan. Discord was not used by Tyler Robinson to either plan the murder of Charlie Kirk or to hide the evidence. The feds lied. They lied. That's what that means. They lied. Charlie Kirk was fighting with some very powerful billionaires that he took money from over things he was discussing. The pressure on him was immense over the last 2 weeks. The truth will be revealed. The messages will be leaked, and the movement he built will rise up. Charlie was about to lose his last major donor because he refused to ban Tucker Carlson from events. There are a lot of people shedding crocodile tears. The billionaires must be exposed for the cretins that they are. Bibi Netanyahu also spoke about how he called Charlie 2 weeks ago to quote unquote invite him to Israel. That phone call is lacking context. That because allegedly Charlie Kirk turned down this offer because they was trying to put him back in line. He should provide the proper context of what and who inspired him to make that call and exactly how Charlie replied to the invite. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What happened to my chat? I can't see my chat. What happened to the chat? All right, there you go. Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. I don't think I'm leaving anything else out. That's probably some of the biggest updates as it relates to Charlie Kirk. Let's move on to Mr. LeBron James. Let's talk about LeBron James. And this is not random because it's never random and it's never irrelevant to expose evil regardless of where it comes from. Regardless of where it comes from. Let's talk about Mr. LeBron James. All right, let's see here. What do I want to start off with? I'm going to start off with this video right here. Shout out to THPP. We're going to play a little bit of this. These are all the things that y'all have heard about, but we need to talk about it.
Maybe about 3 years ago, he said, Mr. Powell, you know, I love your work. He said, I'm going to tell you right now, you'd be a lot bigger if you were bisexual. And I said, well, I've gotten as big as I have.
I'm just telling you how Hollywood go. I've been saying it for years. Y'all ain't never got to listen to me. But I'm saying, if you really want some real action out here. I was talking to Eddie Griffin. It felt good to hear it because I know he wasn't lying.
What did he say?
Eddie Griffin, right when he was getting hot, getting movies, a powerful Hollywood executive, I ain't going to say his name.
Let me send you this picture.
Eddie Griffin said he called him in the room and he said, how big a star you want to be? And he opened his legs and had his thing out.
Wow.
Eddie Griffin said, that's when I knew it was time for me to leave Hollywood.
Wow.
In 2016, while at a party with my wife, I was assaulted by a successful Hollywood agent. The assault lasted only minutes, but what he was effectively telling me while he held my genitals in his hand was that he held the power.
And that was for a movie?
That was the man. Ask him how big a star you want to be. Let me tell you something, man. It's some people out here who can turn you into the face of black people. But do that shock you?
See, back then.
Hell yeah, that shocked me when you hear Will Smith and them getting 20 million a film and
It's a reason why I'm playing this. I'm gonna shut up and let it play. But this is related to LeBron James. I'm not, everything I say in this video is alleged. I'm not alleging that LeBron James has done these things. Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying here. I wouldn't dare say something like that on YouTube. What I'm saying is just watch. I got some stuff coming up.
like that, like,
Man.
come on,
But not
man.
their first ones. Not their first.
no.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Will
see?
Smith, them, man, they look like
And
them
he opened
baby
the
birds
floodgates.
when it's getting fed.
Oh, God. And that opened the floodgates. Remember, not a lot of no.
I'm gonna have to explain to Elizabeth about the money and calm her. She gets so nervous. Hey, Paul, come on, stop that.
I was wondering if I could you.
Man, I don't do things like that.
Bruh.
I made it to the middle. The top is another whole set of stuff that you got to deal with on every level that I'm not willing to do. So, and they don't let strong Kunta Kinte like me get to the top. It just doesn't happen without some compromise. And I'm not willing to do that, but I never knew that.
You can say what you want. I don't believe Eddie Griffin out there getting down like them people getting down, because them people getting down, they doing all kinds of wonderful things.
Why do you think Dave Chappelle left the Chappelle Show?
Nobody would know better than Dave, so I'd break it down this simple, because I had those feelings when I was on the Malcolm and Eddie show. When they're asking you to do that doesn't agree with your nature, is the money worth that indignity. I think the brother made the proper decision.
I know when I interviewed Fredjo Story, he told me that he turned down the role in The Wire because they wanted him to kiss him in.
I got a audition maybe a year ago from Mr. Black. I don't think he read the script. So I read the script and I called him. I said, this guy that's the gangster, he has this guy named Raphael or somebody hanging around the bar all the time. I said, who is that guy? So he called casting and he said, well, they kind of like lovers. I'm like, that's not gonna work out. I'm not homophobic. I've gotten a lot of flack for saying something in the heat of the moment. I'm not homophobic, but I have no problems with transgender people or gay people. I don't care what color they are. I have no problems with, I'm not sexist or racist or any of that. But I have boundaries for me as a person. But I've been set up, I've been approached, I've been, I don't want to say persuaded, but gestures have been made, and I don't want to get into the details and name any names.
Now, there's a reason why I decided to play that, y'all. It's a reason why I decided to play that. Just keep that in mind, right? Keep everything that we just played and everything you just heard in mind. And we actually just talked about LeBron a few weeks ago because LeBron James was outed by, what's his name? What's the basketball player name? I couldn't stand him when he played, but he's a lot better at talking. Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague came out and said that it was pretty much known throughout the league that LeBron James took steroids. Everything I say in this video is alleged. I'm not saying that that's what Jeff Teague said. And then he came out and backtracked and said that he was actually joking. It was a joke, even though that's been the thing around LeBron James since his Miami days, right? Now watch this. Shout out to AJ Flam. Let's recognize the super chats like coming. Thank you so much for your your $20 super chat. It means a lot. And I don't think I read this one correctly the first time, so I apologize. Good job, mate. Keep it up, exposing so the people may be free. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Y'all showing so much love, man. I appreciate that big time. Okay. All right. So LeBron James, again, I've said that everything I say in this video is alleged. I've been telling y'all for the longest that a lot of these people are part of the boule. But Mr. Malcolm X has been telling us this for a long time. We covered this in the Martin Luther King documentary. Normally, the leaders that we see, especially in the so-called Black community, are given to us. It's not people that we want to be our leaders, right? They're given to us. Name one other community where basketball players, football players, and entertainers, actors and actresses, and comedians, they are the spokespersons for that community. White community, Jewish community, Asian community, Indian community, you don't find it. It's only us.
A poll taken by Newsweek magazine, I think you said that this was the leaders who said that, who went with King and against Mr. Muhammad, around 90%. I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear. And it is an honor, actually, that they endorsed Dr. Martin Luther King.
You heard that? Now hear this.
We're talking about Antarctica, the Cell of the Fallen Angels. No other team in the NBA wants him. His time is up. I can't wait to see these shorts. His time is up. No team wants him. He's got one more year. And when he retires, his number would be called to either him, his wife, his daughter, or one of his sons. Somebody has to be sacrificed because we allowed you, LeBron, to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm telling how these deep state devils think. They want blood, okay? We gave you what you want. You're the greatest scorer in NBA history. we need someone to be liquidated. His number will be called. And you got a lot of listeners. Oh, you're saying he's going to die? I'm not saying he's going to die like Kobe. Something's about to come up. Be called. You see, anyone on that line, especially the rappers. We talked about this the first time I was on your Power Show. To go higher into the rap industry, you have to be butt broken, like you said, in humiliation. Okay, and so they're butt broken. That's the system. And if you don't want to give in, they're trying to destroy you. But LeBron James, so let me say this, and I'm going to end it here today. LeBron James' days are numbered. His days are numbered.
Now you got this counterfeit like LeBron James who has that Boule logo tattooed on his chest. LeBron James has that Boule tattooed on his chest.
What's the tattoo?
Yeah,
what
the Boule tattoo. If you go to Google Images and type in LeBron James chest tattoo, LeBron James chest tattoo, or that Boule, B-O-U-L'-E, tattooed on the chest of LeBron James. Half male, half female, half lion with breasts, with his right paw on an urn. You are in that they keep the ashes of.
You're actually right.
That's it. You see? So LeBron James is a Prince Hall Mason, has that Boule tattooed on his chest. It's amazing.
You know what irritates me, y'all, is the reaction the guy gave him. He was like, oh, you're right. How do you watch sports? LeBron James is shirtless before so many games. How do people see this stuff and you don't question what it means? That annoys me, man. You don't ask questions. You see this irregular tattoo on this man's chest. You don't at least think that you just like that he can dunk and jump high. Ask questions, bro. What does that tattoo mean? Why are you so bold to just wear it out in the open like that? These people are, bro, I don't care what color you come in. I don't like evil, bro. I don't like evil. But I want to address this statement right here. Somebody right here says Kobe was taken out. When I hear taken out, that means that the person didn't know it was going to happen. So therefore, I have to disagree with this comment. I have a Kobe Bryant series comment. It's going to be like 9 parts. If you ever like my content, it's going to be on Patreon. I'm not going to be able to drop it. I'm not even going to attempt to drop it on YouTube. If you've ever liked my content, if you like that Martin Luther King documentary, I'm going to blow your mind with the Kobe story. LeBron James is 100% intertwined in the whole story. I'm not accusing LeBron James of doing anything to Kobe. That's not what I'm saying here. Wait till y'all watch that. It's going to be probably more than 3 or 4 hours long. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. All right. Let's recognize our super chats. AJ Flim, who is actually a new member of the Patreon. I remember her name. Shout out to AJ Flim. Agenda pushing his wife forward. Woman agenda. Keep going. Respect. Taught me a lot. Trans, blacks, immigrants, led by prayers, completely taken over. Now, I want to show y'all something. For those of you who would like to get just a close-up of the LeBron James tattoo, you'll see it here. Now, I want to ask you all a question. We're going to treat this like class. Can anybody tell me, have you ever found a complete breakdown of this image? Have you ever seen somebody break down what this image actually means? The Sphinx, the wings, the stuff underneath. What does this mean? It just looks, all right, you got this animal with wings. Everything these people do is intentional. Do anybody know? Give me some yeses or some nos. Does anybody know what it actually stands for? Does anybody know what this tattoo stands for? Like, we know that it's the Boule, but tell me, it's not quite the Baphomet. It's related, but it's not quite that. No. Okay. Give me some ones in the chat if you want me to break down together. We're going to read it together what this means. Give me some ones in the chat. Hit that like button on your way in if you don't mind. Hit that like button. Because this is going to be for people who try to come to LeBron's defense. There's no defending this. These same people will get in interviews and say that they believe in God. What does this tattoo mean then, LeBron, if you believe in God, bro? It is a Sphinx. But LeBron's tattoo is actually a little bit different than the Boulet's. It's a tad bit different, but obviously you can look at the wing patterns and you can tell that it's all related. Let's break it down. I'm not playing with them today. We about to break it down. We about to break it down. Let's go. Boom. Where we at? 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 Okay. Let me make sure that y'all can see it. I'm gonna log into my channel real quick. Let me make sure that y'all can see this. So we on the same page and I'm not leaving y'all behind. So boom. Sphinx. Okay. All right, the words are pretty small, y'all. Let me see if I can fix that. Let me see if I can fix that. One sec. I don't know if I'm able to do it, y'all, but I'm gonna just read it out to you. All right, and I'm gonna put this image on the screen. Hopefully, y'all can see that image too. All right, so we're gonna read it here. I don't think the image is showing up on the screen, but it is what it is. Y'all have already seen it. All right, it says, next, our incision will go a little level deeper. We will perform an open heart surgery and split open the aorta of so-called Black Greeks. We will define the meaning of the Boulet's logo, the Sphinx, their colors, and more of their connection with Masonry. Let's start with their logo. All right. And for some reason, it's not showing up here, but y'all have it. On my screen, I can see the logo set here to the side, but I see that it's not showing up on YouTube, unfortunately. It says, most will say it is a Sphinx. True, but not truth. True, but not truth. Most will associate the Sphinx with the tall, solid block statue our ancestors built in ancient Kemet in Africa. Because we have been conditioned to accept without question, we never thought of looking up what the word Sphinx means. Look in any dictionary and it will tell you that a Sphinx is a third part woman, 1/3 eagle, and 1/3 lion. Notice the breast and the wings. So when I think of the tall statue in Kemet, does it look like a woman? Where are the breasts? What about the wings? The original African name is Heramic, which means Heru of the horizon, and has the face of the builder. Okay. When we look up the definition of Sphinx, it means to strangle, guard, gatekeeper, or protect. This has nothing to do with Kemet or African people. The Sphinx is a Grecian myth and is a major part of Masonry. According to the Greeks, this beast was a guardian of the city of Thebes. She sat on a cliff on the only path leading to the city. Anyone that wanted to enter Thebes had to first confront the Sphinx. The Sphinx would ask one simple riddle, and if you didn't know the answer, she would devour you, tearing you to pieces. The king, Creon, was upset that many people were unable to enter his city. He consulted a homosexual named Oedipus, right? The king offered his crown and his daughter if he could kill the Sphinx. So he bounced to where she was, and she asked him the riddle. What has one voice and goes on 4 feet, on 2 feet, and on 3? But the more feet it goes on, the weaker it be. Oedipus responded, Man who crawls on all fours as a body, as a baby, then walks onto as an adult and walks with a cane in old age, right? That makes it 3 legs. After answering the riddle correctly, the Sphinx committed suicide by jumping off the cliff, and Oedipus was claimed king of Thebes for outsmarting the beast. All right, now let's go down a little bit. When I learned this, it clearly made sense why the first black college fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha, would choose to call it the Sphinx and not Heramic, because her knowledge base is Greek oriented and not African. What does the logo mean? As stated before, Boule means advisor to the king. We clarified last piece that the king is the Rockefeller Foundation. If we were to bring some numerology into this, the Sphinx is number 9. The riddle of the Sphinx is what walks on 4, 2, and 3, right? Y'all following me there? That equals 9. 4 symbolize the ignorant man, the baby. 2, the intellectual, young adult. And 3, the spiritual old man with cane, which means wisdom. The Masonic definition of the number 9 is natural number of man and the lower worlds or evil. Looking at the logo, you will notice under the Sphinx, in between the Greek letters, there are 2 sets of 3x3 squares. Man, I wish I could show y'all the image at the same time. It is upsetting me. It is upsetting me. As a matter of fact, I don't know what y'all prefer, but what I'm going to do instead, hold on. I want y'all to be able to follow along with me. So I'm going to do something real quick. Hold on. I want y'all to follow along. I want y'all to be able to see this so it makes sense. I want y'all to be able to follow along so it makes sense. Okay, boom. Okay, what am I doing? So what I'm gonna do here is let me exit out of this. All right, so what I'm about to do, everybody, I'm about to just exit out, and I'm going to just put the image on the screen, and then I'm going to read it to you so that y'all can see the image. That way y'all can visualize. I know a lot of people are visual learners. So let's break these people down, y'all. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I'm almost there. Okay, here we go. All right. So pay attention here. As a matter of fact, let me get a better image for y'all. Okay. I'm gonna pull up a different. I'm gonna pull up a different image for y'all. All right. So now y'all can see it a lot closer. Can y'all see that? Put some ones in the chat if that is big enough for everybody to be able to see it. I'm about to break it down so y'all can understand what the heck these people do. Put some ones in the chat if that is big. Put some 2s in the chat if it is still too small. I bet. Let's do it. Let's do it. The Masonic definition of the number 9 is the natural number of man and the lower worlds or evil. Looking at the logo, you will notice under the Sphinx, in between the Greek letters, there are 2 sets of 3x3 squares, right? Brother Steve Coakley pointed out after attending a Boule National Conference a couple of years ago that each square represented each of the 4 black frats and 4 black sororities. The final square belongs to the one that started it all, the Boule, right? And if you can zoom in, there are squares. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, nah, that's big enough. That'll work. It's gonna have to do. All right. You will also notice the Sphinx with its right paw covering an urn, right? A vase. Inside the urn, we see a circle within a circle, right? Y'all see that? With a dot in the middle. This had two meanings. First, the circle within a circle is the symbol of the Rockefeller Foundation, which is subservient to the Rothschild Rhodes Secret Society / the Illuminati. I'm giving y'all Patreon content. I need y'all to hit that like button for me. So what the Sphinx is doing is what its definition is. Protect, guard, gatekeeper. It is protecting the interests of white supremacy, right? We're not talking about regular white people. We're talking about the ones who run the world. It is protecting the interests of white supremacy. The second meaning is the circle within the circle. It has a dot in the middle. The circle, including the dot, is the symbol of Ra, our ancient sun god, or Haru, of the original trinity Asar, Aset, and Haru. The outer circle is like an enclosed layer closing off the power of Ra, along with the paw to further conceal the truth of our ancient history. The beast nose is very vital to our upliftment. There are many symbols out here that have racist definitions. Remember the saying, a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? There is a code of communication that was originated in ancient Kemet. The Boulé's colors are blue and white and is a cipher within itself. Blue has a close relationship with masonry. In masonry, blue resembled the lower protective lodges. These are also the code of silence lodges. They are the front line of the protective layer. The color white really needs no elaboration, but we will for those who needs it. It represents the race that they respect the most. All right. The Boule has taken a sworn oath to maintain the state of white supremacy and to never let you know the whites that really rule the world. It's just like the house Negro feel African theory, right? Sort of like a house Negro. They're better than us, and then they look at other people that's better than them. These are the ones who dictate what goes in and out, what goes in and goes out of each issue of the so-called black magazines and the black community, right? Let me show y'all something else about the Boule. Let me show y'all something else. All of this, by the way, we covered. We partially touched on this, maybe in the Patreon version, but we covered this in the Martin Luther King documentary. All right, where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Is this it? No, that's not it. That's not it. There it is. All right, so this is called Breaking the Code of Silence, Exposing the Inner Workings of the Boule Society, Unveiling the Hidden Secrets and Mysterious Traditions of the Elite Black Fraternity. And if you notice, we talked about this before too. The early inception of the Boule, it was mostly light-skinned black people because it was a lot closer to vicinity to white people that were in power, right? So we already know all of this stuff. We've talked about this many times. I hate if you're new to the channel that I'm going to skip over this, but I can include the links. It's also in the description of my Martin Luther King documentary. But let me scroll down to... All right. Membership and selection process of the Boule. The Boule Society has strict membership criteria that are designed to ensure that only the most accomplished and influential black professionals are selected for membership. To be considered for membership, an individual must meet the following criteria. They must be a Black American. They must hold a professional degree or have achieved notable success in their field. They must have a strong commitment to serving the Black community. They must have a high level of integrity and ethical standards. Doesn't that sound like Martin Luther King Jr.? Right? Doesn't that sound like LeBron James? Allegedly. The selection process for the membership in the Boule Society is highly secretive and involves a rigorous screening process. Nominations for new members are made by existing members, and candidates must undergo a thorough vetting process that includes background checks, interviews, and reference checks. Once a candidate is approved for membership, they must take part in a formal initiation ceremony that involves various rituals and traditions. Right? It comes with numerous benefits, both tangible and intangible. Yeah. You know, they have access to the elite black professional circles. The inner workings of the Boule Society is shrouded in secrecy, and the organization is known for its strict code of silence. However, some details about its inner workings and traditions have been made public over the years. The Boule Society operates as a fraternal organization with members organized into local chapters. The organization has a hierarchical structure with senior members holding positions of authority. One of the most well-known traditions of the Boule Society is its initiation ceremony, which is a highly secretive and elaborate affair. What is it with all these secrets? I keep saying it. Why all the secrets, y'all? If it's just about becoming better men, right? Giving back to the community, why all the secrets? Right? For example, members are required to swear an oath of allegiance to the organization and to keep the secrets, just like regular low-level fraternities, which is low-level Freemasonry. The Boule Society has a complex organizational structure with a national headquarters and local chapters across the United States. The organization is led by a Grand Boule, which is made up of senior members who hold leadership positions within the organization. And yeah, we can get into the criticisms, all the things we're talking about, right? The Boule has faced criticism and controversy. Listen to this part. With some people questioning its secrecy, exclusivity, and influence. One of the main criticisms of the organization is that it is elitist and exclusive, with membership limited to a select group of Black professionals who are deemed worthy by existing members. Some have also accused the Boule Society of being out of touch with the needs and concerns of the broader Black community and of using its influence to advance the interest of its members at the expense of others. Well, of course. What can a billionaire like LeBron James relate to us? I don't care that you have the same skin color as me, bro. You don't know. You have no idea what it's like to be us, bro. Your children would never know what it's like to be a regular American. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If you put your family in a position to be well off financially, absolutely, you should do that. But it shouldn't come at the expense of your soul, your integrity, right? In my personal opinion, if you join in these organizations, that's a lack of integrity. In my opinion. In my opinion. Allegations of elitism and exclusion have been a persistent issue for the Boule Society. Some have accused the organization of perpetuating the very same systems of privilege and discrimination that it claims to be fighting against. Critics argue that the Boule Society reinforces a hierarchical and elitist system that privileges the interests of a select group of Black professionals over the broader Black community. The Boule has been the subject of numerous conspiracy theories. I always love it when I see that term because it tells me that whatever I'm about to read out there is probably either true or there's probably some validity to it or a good reason to believe it. Even if it turns out to not be true, the person probably had a good reason to believe it. With some people alleging that it is part of a secret society with nefarious intentions. Some of the conspiracy theories surrounding the Boule Society include claims that it is a tool of the Illuminati, which we've talked about. The Illuminati was actually a family. That term, that word has kind of lost its meaning, even though it's a real thing. But what people are really referring to when they're saying the Illuminati is Freemasonry, high-level Freemasons. That is involved in mind control and brainwashing, which is a fact. And that is connected to various other secret societies and shadowy organizations. Bro, I would debate anybody on that. But things get tricky when you try to debate some people with these conversations because, let's see. Let's recognize the super chats real quick. Can you do a video on YouTube attorney? I don't know who that is. Okay, first of all, thank you so much for the super chat. I'll have to look into that. I'm not familiar with the person. Thank you once again for the super chat. What do you think of Abraham? I think you've commented on a couple of my videos before, haven't you? I've seen the comment, and I apologize for not getting to you. I'm not familiar with that person either, to be honest. I'd have to look into it. Should I know about who this person is? Which, speaking of other YouTubers, y'all, I want to share something real quick before we get into Jaguar Wright. We're going to finish the video off with Jaguar Wright. But I'm new to this stuff. I'm not new to YouTube, but I'm new to, like, I am a regular person, bro. And I just try to spread truth and try to share knowledge. And I try to learn with y'all. I don't know the answer to everything. I try to learn with y'all. I'm an approachable person in real life. I'm a down-to-earth person in real life. I'm not a pushover. You know, I know how to protect myself and all of that. But I'm sharing that to say it's still new to me. When I go to other YouTube channels and I see, like, they never interact with people in their comment section. This isn't to bash any other YouTuber. The point is, like, that's not how I learned to, like, interact with people. I'm from the South. Like, when I see that these people, like, bro, if people are supporting you, you should support them and interact with them. Like, I don't understand these channels that you never comment. Like, you rarely ever comment back to these people who are supporting you. I don't get it. Especially when you're a channel that exposing stuff. You should interact with these people who are supporting you. I don't understand these same YouTube channels. I'll reach out to these people. I'll comment on their videos, and they get a special notification if it's a pretty nice sized channel. And these people never respond about collabing, about collaborating, about coming onto the show, about me coming onto their show. They won't. Like, I don't get it. What is that about, y'all? Like, that's still new to me. I don't understand that. Like, they don't respond to my comments. I'll DM it on Instagram. They won't respond to it. Like, bro, you know how many I'm responding to DMs all the time. I'm getting thousands of comments every single day on my channel. And I have a ritual, I have a routine in the morning where I get up and I thank the Lord for waking me up in the morning, allowing me to see another day, a healthy mind, right? A healthy body, woke me up in my right mind. And then I start responding to you all before I get my day started. I try to respond to at least 50 comments every morning. I just don't get it. I don't get it, right? So I wanted to speak real fast. Well, let me show y'all this because I also, when we talk about the boule, in my last video when we discussed it, I think it's titled, Why So Many Black Leaders Are Freemasons or something like that, or fraternity members. You got people like Jamal Bryant that we talked about.
Look at this. Look at this.
This guy.
He can't. He can't. He can't. He can't. That's just nice. But he don't. Don't let me. Look at this. Look at this. He can't. He can't. He can't. He can't. That's just nice. But he don't. Don't let me.
This person, Jamal Bryant, claims to be a pastor, but this person is also in a fraternity, and he's throwing up hand signs. You tell me what about this symbol is godly? What about it? Like, I be wanting to meet these people in real life. And I will do. I'm the same person in real life. I want to talk to y'all in real life. Explain that to me. How can you be in a fraternity and a pastor? How you preaching to the people about, man, don't get me started with these people, bro. But anyways, let me remove this. You got me to open my Bible again. I am blessed that I found your channel. Wow. That could bring me to tears. Y'all inspire me too, man. Believe it or not. You aren't in a group, Didi. No, I'm not in any group. This is what I'll say. I don't know what that man does behind closed doors, but I highly question that guy. I'm just going to say that. So the last thing I want to end this video off with is Jaguar Wright, which may seem very random, but I had somebody commented on my live where I talked about Freemasons, and Jaguar may be watching right now. I don't know. But this person said that they work very closely with Jaguar Wright, and apparently she gave me a shout out on her live the other day. Now, I like a lot of the stuff that Jaguar Wright has been saying. I've reacted to a lot of her content on this channel. And so when I seen the comment, I was a bit flattered. I'll be honest. I was like, that's dope. She knows who I am and she watches the content. I love to have her on the show. But I would especially love to have her on the show to talk to her about this clip I'm about to play. Because everybody get the smoke, even you, Jaguar. Because I believe that you've told a lot of truth when it comes to the industry, your experiences with Jay-Z, and I'm grateful that you've done that. I don't know if you're controlled opposition. I don't know you. But you got some explaining to do. Because I'm not saying you have to believe in the same God that I do. I would recommend it. But what I would say is that while you're exposing these people for being how they are in the industry, you can't be the same thing that you're complaining about. So if you're watching, or if the person who told me that you shared my content and you gave me a shout out on your channel, if that person is watching, let Jaguar Wright know that this is my way of saying I'm looking at you sideways too. Because you're not about to claim to be a witch and claim to be, performing rituals and things of that sort. You don't get any special treatment on this channel either. I have to answer to one entity, and that is God, the Lord of the Bible. And what you said in this interview, you got some explaining to do.
Herself throwing her dead son's ashes on people.
Well, I guess it's time.
Well, let me wind this back so y'all can hear all of it.
Ask Jaguar why she recorded herself throwing her dead son's ashes on people.
Well, I guess it's time to answer that last question as well. I do not practice the same form of spirituality that everyone else does. I follow Yeshua. I serve the almighty living God.
Okay.
And I acknowledge all sides of God. Okay. God the Father, God the Mother, and God the Son.
God the Mother? God the Mother? Yes, she's a witch. She's about to tell you that she's a witch. God the Mother? You said you follow Yeshua. Now you're talking about God the Mother.
I don't believe in doves and I don't believe in lambs. I believe in the source that sources this world, the energy that sources us all. And I believe in the true words that were written down on tablet. Now, a lot of people read a book that they know is the Bible, and there's a lot of truth in it, just like Kim Porter's memoir. And it's also shrouded in a bunch of lies, just like Kim Porter's memoir.
Oh, okay.
I think the problem with religion is that we spend too much time trying to figure out who got it right, rather than realizing we all got it right, and it's just the different lies that they put in it that make them different. I study the old ways. I study the ways that came before Yeshua was born.
Huh?
The things that I practice and the things that I know go back tens of thousands of years, not just a few hundred. The truth is I've studied every religion, and it led me to the truth. And the truth is there is no religion. There's just God.
Okay.
And there is us.
Okay.
Now, there are some people that practice the things that I practice. And the beautiful thing about practicing the old ways is that it works. Whether you use it for good or whether you use it for evil.
Y'all, what is she talking about? She losing me here. What are you talking about?
You think what I did with my son's ashes was so terrible?
What?
You want to know what I find most funny about that question? Nobody bothers to ask me what was happening before it or after it. People only want to know what happened in that short minute and a half. But there was a whole day of events that happened leading up to that. And even before that camera footage was taken, there was an hour of things that happened that nobody bothered to ask about. Nobody bothered to ask about what happened after that either. So, what I will say is, whatever I choose to do with my DNA, I'll do with my DNA. As per my right as a law-abiding American citizen, I have the right to practice whatever religion I choose. Do I not, gentlemen?
Yeah, you do.
She sounds offended to me, y'all. She sounds very, very offended. If somebody asks me about my faith in Jesus Christ, I'm not going to be offended that you asked me about it. Listen to what she's about to say. Because just so y'all get some context, they prefaced this with, they were talking about Beyonce. And she said, it takes a witch to know a witch. Keep watching.
You got that right. You surely do.
I also don't have to explain my religious practices to anybody as per the Constitution and the amendments. But if you really want to know what I did with those ashes, you should probably ask me everything that happened before and happened after, because all of it was witchcraft. Because all of it was witchcraft.
What?
Because all of it was witchcraft.
All of it. Especially the things that happened before and the things that happened after. I'm so sick and tired. I gotta say this. I'm so sick and tired of you small-minded people.
Oh, okay.
You're so small-minded.
Okay. Educate us.
You think you're gonna come here and ask a loaded question like that and not put it in proper context? See, what I am would terrify most of you.
Oh.
If you actually knew.
Oh.
Matter of fact, if any of you actually knew what I truly am, you wouldn't ask me stupid questions like that at all. See, when you open the door to certain questions, you better be sure you're ready for the answer. And if you want to know how I know Beyonce is a witch, I'll say it as simple as this. It takes one to know one. It takes one to know one.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah, there it is. Now we know.
Period.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got your questions answered, and this got real, real deep for you, but you asked for it, and you got what you was looking for, and there it is. And we'll go live tomorrow, and we'll discuss this live.
Understand this, and please believe me. Just because you don't want to believe in the boogeyman don't mean he real.
Oh.
But what I will say is this. There are those of us who know that the boogeyman ain't nothing more than a man.
Oh.
I don't answer to men.
Hey, can somebody educate me? Because I'm a little slow. What was that? Hey, she was trying too hard. She was trying to come off as so spooky, so performative. What was that, though? That's what we call double talking, Jaguar. Like, how you exposing them? Now you're saying you're a witch. You know what? It takes one to know one. I don't think that was the flex you thought it was. Somebody said she's going to try to slander me. She can go for it. She can go for it. It ain't going to be too fun, though. Let me see. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. That was kind of crazy, but I'm not saying that she did it, but I mean, she was that's her with Jay-Z. We all know that Jaguar Wright could really sing. She could really sing. She has been in the industry. It's part of the reason why she's considered so credible. And I respect all the truth that she shared. Check out the shirt that he's wearing. These people, boy. Jaguar, you got some explaining to do. You got some explaining to do. That's all I'm saying. With the black and white photo, and I love to know what you mean when you say you're a witch. I don't know, y'all. That's wild. That's wild. So that's my message to Jaguar. Like, listen, I appreciate the compliment, and I appreciate you watching and supporting the channel, but yeah, I'm not with the witchcraft. There is no such thing. She said if you use witchcraft for good or bad, that's impossible. There is no such thing as good witchcraft. I don't know if you've ever been told that before. There is no such thing as good witchcraft. That is in direct violation of the scriptures. If you believe in the scriptures. If you're not beholden to the scriptures and you choose to believe in something else, all right, cool. But there is no such thing as good witchcraft. Didi, don't interview her, please. We need nothing further. Her demons are speaking hard. Yeah, that was wild, bro. Is she a good witch or a bad witch? If she's a witch, she's a witch. And I don't celebrate and I don't support witches at all. At all. Yeah, this is wild, man. This is wild. I saw that. I remember I saw that for the first time. And I was like, you, Jaguar, you losing me. You know? But heck yeah, I'll take a couple of questions. I'll take about 4 or 5 questions. And then I'm going to go ahead and log off. It's 7 o'clock where I'm at. I got some stuff I got to do around the house. So if you got any questions for your boy, anything you'd like for me to address before I log off? Hello, bro. Hello, please, bro. Should I stop my NBA dreams? No. If you believe in God, RK, I don't know if you believe in God, brother, but if you believe in God, what's supposed to happen will happen, brother. There's nothing wrong with playing basketball. But you also have to understand with sports, the people who created sports are Freemasons. That's open knowledge. I have a video called the Open Secret About Sports. The man who created football was an open Freemason. It's public knowledge. The man who created basketball was a high level Mason. All these people was Freemasons. Why is that important? Because I need you to understand when I'm talking about Freemasons, it's not just regular people. I'm not talking about your local people, that are Freemasons. I'm talking about the high level ones, the ones that's been given the information that low level Masons are not given and not told. They created sports to be a distraction. The way the world is, and I'm a victim of this as well. I'm not a perfect person, bro. But the way the world is, all of it is intentional, right? We're supposed to be distracted. If you look at the way that sports are set up, the NBA season is structured at a time of the year where after it ends, another sport come out. I'll get them mixed up because I don't watch all sports. I like basketball. I think baseball is right before, and I think right when it's ending, NBA season starts, and then right when it's ending, I think something else starts, like towards you know what I'm saying? Like it's all designed to keep you focused. And then like around March, which is leading towards the end of the year, you got March Madness. The summertime hit, the NBA season ends. Then they have the Olympics and stuff, and they do stuff overseas. Like all of that stuff is designed to keep us distracted. Video games, all of it. Because the way the world is, we're not supposed to be paying for our food. We're supposed to be able to go outside, grow our own food. Everything's supposed to be free. But we know that's not how the world works. They've traumatized, they've monetized so many different things in this world. They create the issues just like they create the sicknesses so that they can also give you the cures. It's the same thing with sports. So no, I don't think there's anything wrong with playing basketball as long as you put your faith first. Now, if basketball becomes your god, and that gets tricky sometimes, Shout out to the new member Duncan Conley. Appreciate that. Heck yeah. Didi, what are your thoughts on K-pop? Same thing. It's my thoughts, just like I have with people have been requesting that I cover. What is it called? The music coming out of Nigeria. All of that stuff. You got all of those people are Freemasons. All of those people. And I'm gonna find some time. They're telling you don't have to do research. They're telling you in their videos. But yeah, like all those people. It's taking over the youth, but this industry is also very demonic, but they hide it so well. Yeah, it's the same thing. Different industry, same monster, same people that's behind it. Exactly. Food grows off trees, water comes out the ground. Why are we paying for that stuff? And even if you want to argue that, oh, that's things aren't that simple, you're making life simple. I get your point, but I'm saying they not only charges for like water. I haven't drank water out of the faucet in a very long time. The water, it's disgusting. So I'm buying waters. They put it in plastic, which therefore, eventually leads to chemicals being in our water. It's a lot of stuff, but that's not what this live is about. Bro, it's 1,200 of y'all tuning in, and that's the most I've ever had somebody tune into one of my lives, man. That's dope, bro. I appreciate the love. Didi, what is your favorite Bible verse? John 14:6. I believe it's John 14:6. I believe Jesus Christ said that I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man gets to the Father but by me, but through me, right? I think that is my favorite. I actually love this question a lot, Steve. I appreciate it, man. I love that verse so much because Jesus Christ was so humble. Imagine living a sinless life. You're gaining enemies, even though you haven't done anything to anybody. You haven't fought anybody. You haven't attacked anybody, but people are hating you. You're helping people. You're healing people. People are following you. And in the midst of being this extremely humble God in flesh, but we're going to say person in this instance, and you make a statement so profound as I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man gets to the Father but by me. That is such a powerful thing to say. Imagine if just like a regular person said that. I am the way into this country. Nobody gets into this country but by me. It's like you want to almost test them on that. Like, is it really? But before I forget, there's one other thing I want to say about early in the video. We were speaking about the Israel thing. When the professor was talking about the Israel thing, and he was saying like how they've been, I think they're banned. I think the Israeli government is like banned in like 110 countries or something crazy like that, right? Around the world. Everywhere they go, they're causing conflicts. The government. This is not all Jewish people. Because they always like to conflate that. That's their defense mechanism. And he said they're just causing conflicts. I was like, I want y'all to think about that. That's like having a friend that you're really, really close to, right? You're really close to this friend, good buddy of yours. But everybody around you is telling you not to be friends with this person. But you're like, no, I like to experience people for myself, which is a good measure. I think that's a good standard to live life by. You get to experience people for yourself. I don't want to listen to what they say. I don't care. This is my friend. I love them. Even though they've messed you over a couple of times, you forgave them, but you didn't forget. And then out of nowhere, they do something else. And you look at them, you say, are you trying to make me not like you? Are you trying to make me hate you? It's like that. This Charlie Kirk thing, this Donald Trump thing, which, by the way, I just want to state for what it's worth. I've talked about cloning very little on this channel. I shared a story about my experience with Bill Clinton. For those of you who don't know, I graduated with my master's from President Bill Clinton School. And I met him a couple of times, but I'm not going to get into that story again. Just put two and two together with what I'm about to say. Dick Gregory said that there's two Donald Trumps, and I'm telling you that I'm starting to believe that. Because Trump does not look the same a lot of times when I see him. I mean, he just doesn't. Anyways. Who was the Asian professor in the beginning? I'm going to link him in the description whenever I end this live here in a sec. His name was Professor Zhang. Jiang. Professor Zhang. That's the first video I've seen of that person, but I subscribed. I really liked the video. Did an incredible job. What's your perspective on anime? Great question. This will be my final question. And then I'm going to log off, you all. But what's your perspective on anime? I think anime is rooted in much of it is rooted in Freemasonry. A lot of it is rooted in occultism, and it's also rooted in just like comic books, like Superman. I was talking about Superman. The Superman emblem is actually an upside down. It's actually a snake. Like the S is a snake, but I'll digress. All of that stuff is created by the same people. The same people. Yep. My favorite anime. I know a lot of people consider this like entry level anime because there's real anime, but I love Dragon Ball Z growing up. But it wasn't as I got older. I always wondered why they drew the M on Majin Buu the way that they did, and it was a double meaning because that M stands for masonry. They put that stuff right in our face, even as children. Clinton on the Epstein files, and so is Trump. Just so we all on the same page. Yep. But heck yeah, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and Professor Zhang is a fake Professor Plant. Do your research. He promotes satanic teachings. I believe you're the guy that I went to your channel and watched your video. I think you shot a video right by the. I think y'all should. Hey, y'all go and check out Chad Aaron. I believe this is the guy. He shot a dope video. He was explaining his experience with something by the lake. He was fishing or something. It was a dope video. But I'll do my research on him. But the video we reacted to today, Chad, is spot on. I don't care what false. It's the same thing with Jaguar Wright. The video I just played, absolutely ill. Like I don't support that. I don't agree with it, and I believe her. Why would you lie to yourself about that? I believe that you practice witchcraft. I don't support it. It's evil. It's demonic. There's no such thing as good witchcraft. All of it is bad. There's God's side and the other side. There is no middle, right? But the same thing with her. Like I don't agree with that, but she said a lot of other stuff that's actually true. Same thing with this, you know. I always say I'm gonna log off and then I start. Let's see. Let's recognize the super chats. Once again, thank you, AJ Flim. Fake doesn't regenerate fast enough because Scar. Also, Jesus wasn't serving his to be seen. He got away from attention. Wife speeches AI. So I don't understand everything you're saying here, but I do agree with the Jesus statement for sure. Wasn't serving is to be seen. Right. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and log up off of here. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Be safe tonight. Don't know what y'all got going. Until next time, I'm working on some big videos. Stay tuned. If you want a video to watch that you hadn't seen, go to my second channel, Didi Got Politics. Really check out the video I made a couple of days ago. It's a pretty dope video. Hit that like button once again. Once this live ends, I would really appreciate it if you all would hit the hype button. It will be in the comment section. There's a new feature that YouTube is sort of testing out. So I really appreciate it. All right, y'all. I'm out, man. Peace.